Okay, so we left the last video with our completed box. So now it's time to start decorating. So we're going to start off doing the inside. Now it's just like decorating an album. We're just taking whatever we're covering and just making our pieces a little bit smaller. So I've got my 6 3/4 square base. So I've got a 6.5 by 6.5 piece of black cardstock here. But you could just as easily use your pattern paper to make it all match in. But because it's going to be covered with the album or photo mats or whatever, black card is a little bit cheaper. So I'm just sliding in. If you notice, there's no tape onto it. I've used just glue so that I can move it around if need be. And so it's all black, so you probably can't see very much, but the inside now has been covered. I'm now going to cover my lid. So for my lid, I've got a piece of cardstock 6 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I've just taken my black distress ink and edged around the corners, just hide those little white marks. So I'm going to try and get my quilted design going the way I want it. So if you want to just lift your box, you can get it down. So I'm just using my new Cool Katz Teflon tool, which is brilliant, especially for scoring the black cardstock. It doesn't mark or anything. My new tool, I love it already. And then I've got 4 sides to go on the inside which match that, and these are 6.5 by 1 3/4. And again, I'm not going to put double-sided tape on them, but if you were, what I'd do is just put it along one long edge, so that when you put it in, it'll just stick on the top. But I like the just glue bit because then I can move it if I need to. There's one. It's quite hard to show you and line it up myself. It's far easier to do when you're not trying to film it as well. So again, these were 6.5 by 1 3/4. And just the back to do. Last one. And that's the inside of my box done. And the outside is pretty much exactly the same. So I've gone for 6 3/4 by 6 3/4 again for my lid, because my lid is the same size inside and out. There's plenty of glue, especially towards the edge. So this now is also going to keep my ribbon in place. and then 4 side pieces, which are 1 7/8 tall by 6 5/8 wide. Now, one thing I've done them all the same size, but bear in mind your back one is slightly bigger because that's the cover as opposed to the inside box. So it is slightly taller and slightly wider because of that lip. I don't mind it so much, but if you wanted to cut one for the back just slightly bigger, you can. Again, I've gone around this beforehand with my black soot. I've got to be careful here because I've got wording on the paper, so make sure it's the right way around. So you can see it's a bit longer there, but I don't mind that. So if you wanted to cut this piece a little bit longer, but I just went for speed and I was just able to cut all 4 pieces in one go. Make sure. Oh, hit my stand then. Show the wording again. I like these Knitwits paper because they're designed on old quilting patterns and they're all made to look like it's fabric. So these patchwork pieces are really good, especially for these baby themed projects. A bit over generous with the glue today. So that's the box coming together nicely. So now I've got a 6 3/4 by 6 3/4 piece of black, which I'm just gonna glue onto the bottom. Again, you could put your patterned paper underneath, but I don't see the point. And then I've got this nice Noah's Ark image to go there. But it's up to you then how you wanted to cover your box. Just like the album cover, it's quite personal choice. I'm going quite simple here. And that's the box decorated. But there's just one little thing. These ends of our ribbons, you could just leave them loose. But what I've done is I've cut some circles out of black cardstock, and the kit had a matching button which went with that image, so I printed them off. Now it's just a case of finding punches or dies which will coordinate. So I found this die and this punch which works for this size. So this idea is based on Claire Charville's Doodads video. So if you want to see her making them, you can head off to My Creative Spirit and she's got a video on there. But it's just gluing the image, that could just be in your decorative paper just punched out, onto some black card. There's 4, so we need to make 4. You need 2 for each of the ribbon ends. The dog is really fast asleep now. I'm just going to grab my score tape. I'm just going to put a little piece on the back. This will just hold it to the ribbon for now. So let's pull my ribbon Make sure the arc is the right way. I'm going to put some score tape over the top of the ribbon as well. And then add my glue to stick it to the edges. And add my other ribbon end. And the last one. Let's make sure it's the correct way. Add some glue. Turn it around. And there we go. It just finishes off your ribbon ends nice and tidy. And there we have it. A completed 6 3/4 by 6 3/4 box. But if you wanted to make a 7" by 7", you would do it exactly the same way. You just cut your sides a 7 plus the thickness of a chipboard around each side, 8 by 8. Really easy. You can change the dimensions really quickly and easily to suit whichever project you're doing. Will hold a nice album, it's quite nice and deep. Tied up. I'm not the best bow tire. There we are. Let's bring it up so we can see the ribbon ties. There we are. And there we have it. The completed box. Thank you for watching the box tutorial. And if you want to know how to make some inserts to go inside, watch the next video. Thank you very much.